I'm standing in a pretty popular place. About 280,000 people tour the Jack Daniel Distillery every year. In fact, some of these folks are enjoying it as well. They went to see the spring just a moment ago, taking pictures with Jack, and they're having a good time. So it's no surprise, given the history here, a history rooted in agriculture, which guides every step of the distillery's future.
The bottle and label are iconic. There is no question what is inside when you see Old Number 7.
We are water, yeast, and grains.
And he is Jeff Arnett, the master distiller at the Jack Daniel Distillery. Arnett is only one of 7 to hold that title, going all the way back to 1866. Arnett follows the same Tennessee whiskey recipe as Old Jack Daniel, which calls for a lot of corn. A good bit of that corn comes from Bragg Farms in North Alabama.
The local farmer that we've gone into a grower's contract, we literally buy all of his corn every year and give him a nice price for it. So he loves that. It takes all the worry out of managing his business. He takes great pride, I think, in telling everybody that his corn makes Jack Daniels.
Arnett takes great pride in finding the best ingredients to round out Jack's recipe. Great rye can be hard to find, and Louisiana plays a big part in getting it here.
We've been bringing through the port of New Orleans. We've actually been bringing some of our rye over from Poland, out of Europe. It comes up the Mississippi. It ultimately ends up on the Cumberland River, just north of Nashville, where we can unload it and then truck it to here.
A lot of Jack Daniel's whiskey goes back down the river as well. Arnett says 60% of the company's business is from exports, which makes Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey the number 6 export product from Tennessee. The spent grain left over from the mash stays a lot closer to the distillery.
If you don't work at Jack Daniel's and you live in Moore County and you're not retired, you're most likely, that's what you're doing. You're raising cattle. So like I said, the ground around the distillery, it's very rocky and hilly. It's not necessarily great for planting crops, but it is a good hay ground and it's good for raising cattle on it. So about 70% will actually go right into probably a 25-mile radius of the distillery to local farmers who grow cattle here.
There are not many people who live in the quaint town of Lynchburg who do not have a direct tie to the distillery. The population here is about 600 people. The distillery employs about 600 people. After more than 150 years, it's a part of residents' everyday lives.
I can remember being 5 years old and running around the still house with my grandfather.
Chris Fletcher is the assistant master distiller. His grandfather, Frank Bobo, was the 5th master distiller.
And he's still a wealth of knowledge. He's 88 years old. He lives about 1.5 miles down the street. So if I ever have any questions, I can just go down there and visit for a while.
On a Thanksgiving visit, Fletcher brought over a bottle of Old Number 7. Not just any bottle, but one from the time when Bobo was the master distiller. Here's a picture of them enjoying a taste of the past that's still an important part of their present.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to be able to kind of compare those notes 40 years apart. That's a pretty special thing.
What you may not know about the Jack Daniel Distillery in the state of Louisiana is that there are some special connections. Fletcher's grandmother is from Crowley, Louisiana. Arnett worked for Folgers in New Orleans and was responsible for getting just the right combination of coffee beans to brew the perfect cup.
So I lived in Slidell. I drove across the I-10 twin spans every morning for 4.5 years, and that was where I first learned the sensory sciences.
Then there's the fact that the Jack Daniel Distillery can only use each barrel one time. So a lot of the used barrels help to make your favorite hot sauce.
And if you look at our companies, not that far apart in age. When we turned 150 years old back in 2016, I had a very nice letter from Anthony Simmons, who's the current president and CEO of Tabasco, where he sent me some of their family reserve and sent me a special bottle with my name on it, and recognizing, hey, you know, congratulations on becoming 150 years old. We're just right behind you. Actually, in 2018, the Tabasco company, or McElhaney company, will become 150 years old. So I sense that we're kind of kindred spirits with the McElhaney family today.
And so I take it you're probably going to send them a little something.
I think so.
I'd say it's a good trade, too.
I was going to say, I think they're getting an upgrade off that, but absolutely.
Perhaps Arnett will send over the latest whiskey to bear the name Jack Daniel, Jack Daniel's Tennessee Rye.
You know, it's been a fun time to be the master distiller, you know, to be part of taking Jack Daniel's from 3 products up to 10, and clearly we're not done.
There really is this sense of family pride that the people of Lynchburg have with our product, and they go to work every day believing and knowing that we make some of the best whiskey in the world, and they take a lot of pride in knowing that now there's people in 170 countries all over the world enjoying the whiskey that's made in only one place in the world, which is right here in Lynchburg.
It's well known that Moore County is a dry county where Lynchburg, Tennessee is. However, there is a way to get a taste of Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey outside of the distillery. Miss Mary Bobo's boarding house serves lunch every day, spiked with old number 7. When we came here in 2013, Jack Daniel's great-grandniece, Lynn Tolley, ran the boarding house and told us that while it's against the law for her to pour you a glass, there is absolutely nothing stopping her from putting Jack Daniel's in your food.